Hi, this is Daryl Wade and welcome to the Executive Excel video series. Our goal is to help you, the busy professional, review, understand, and implement the features, functions, tips, and tricks of Microsoft Excel. This is video number 1, Getting Your Data Straight. Today we're going to talk about the find, replace, mid, length, left, right, and concatenate functions. That sounds like a lot, but let's start looking at some data. Let's presume here in column A and B that we have this set of data. It goes on for pages and pages. And we need to find one particular part number and how many we sold in a year. So the easiest way for us to do that is to select the entire column by clicking on the cell header A. And on the Home tab of Excel 2010, we use Find and Select. And we see the find function there. And there it tells us that there's a keyboard shortcut of Control F. So let's try that. We hit Control F, brings up the Find and Replace dialog box with the Find box in front, Find tab in front. And it's asking us find what? Well, we want to find part number 85-307 and hit enter. And there it is. Excel jumped to 85307. Now here it's in row 9. If this data went on for pages and pages, it might be in row 900. Very impractical for you to search through it manually and look for it. Excel found it here instantaneously. So we know that 85307 sold 3,858 units. Very, very handy. Now, oftentimes we'll get a set of data out of another customer's computer and we're trying to compare them, but in order to save space they've removed alphanumeric characters as they have here. All of the dashes are gone. We know these are a prefix of 85 dash and then the suffix as the part number. So what we need to do is either add a dash here or remove a dash here so that the part numbers look the same. Now I'll show you both. Here, we'll select the entire column. We want to remove the dash, so we go to the Home tab, Find and Select, and we need Replace. Now the Replace, as I hover over it, you'll see it says Control H is our keyboard shortcut, so we'll close that. We'll hit Control H, and it brings up the same Find and Replace dialog box with the Replace tab in the front. This time we don't want 85307. We want to find all of the dashes and we want to replace it with nothing. We want to remove the dash. We ask it to please replace all. And Excel tells us that it did that, and it found 16 of those. So now all of the 85 dashes became 85s. Now I want to undo that, and in order to undo anything we hit Control Z and the dashes come back, and we're going to add the dashes here. So I select all of column D and I hit Control H, and I have to be a little smarter this time, and I tell Excel to find what? I said I want you to find the 85s and I want you to replace it with 85 dash, and then I say replace all. And again Excel says yes, I did, and I found 16 of them, and here they are. Now they're all lining up. They all match 85 dash, 85 dash, and I can line my rows up so that all of the part numbers are in the same row, and I can do my math. Now, to tell Excel to do some math, we always need to start out with the equal sign. And here we want to show the change in inventory position. So we tell it that we want it to look at the purchases less the sales, and we hit enter, and it tells us that we purchased 7,206 more than we sold. We increased our inventory position significantly there. Now I'm going to grab this little square box here at the bottom right of the cell, and I'm just going to left click it and drag it down, and I've copied that formula down to all of these cells. Now another way to do that is to just double click this square and it shoots it down. As long as there's a a contiguous cell that is populated, it will copy that formula down until there are none, then it stops. So here in the second row of data, we can see that we sold 703 more than we purchased. So there's our inventory change analysis. Just did a couple of things to get the data straight, and then we just did some math. So let me show you a couple of other functions we use to help get our data straightened out. One of them is the mid function. Perhaps we want to just return the suffix part of the part number. We don't need the 85 dash. We could use a find and replace and ask it to find 85 dash and replace it with nothing, and the prefix would go away. That's one way we could do it. Another way to do it is to use the mid function. Now mid returns the characters, as you can see here, from the middle of a text string given a starting position and length. So we say mid, and it tells us here that it's looking for a text string, so the format is text string, comma, starting position. We want it to start in the 1, 2, 3, 4th position, and we want it to go on for 1, 2, 3 characters. We close the parenthesis, we hit enter, and it returns 300. And we'll shoot that down. Oops, excuse me. 300, and we shoot that down. Oh, it's not shooting down because this is not contiguous. So I'll click it and drag it. There we go. Now I notice right away that I have a problem. Here, it's giving me the 3 characters, 131. It's leaving off that 4th digit because I only told it to give me 3. So that's a problem. Well, there's an easy way to solve that. And let's take a look at the length function. And length returns the number of characters in a text string. So I want it to tell me how long is this text string. And it's 6. We'll shoot that down until it gets here, and it's 7. So what I want, why did I do that? Well, I want to marry those two together so that the suffix is always the correct length. So what I'll do is I'll say I want the mid of this text string. I want it to start at the 4th character. And how many characters I want it to count? Well, I want you to count the length of text D2 minus the 3 character suffix. Close that parenthesis, and there's my 300. And I shoot that down, and then here, see, it worked just fine. 13, 11, 12, it works just fine. So there's a way to help you manipulate the data. Now, another thing we often have to do is we have to pull our part numbers apart. So let's say we have a prefix and we just want to pull the prefix out. We would say we want to look at the left of this text string, and we want to go 3 characters, and it'll give me the 85 dash. We'll shoot that down. Yep, 85 dash. Conversely, we can use the right function to look at this text string, and how many characters? We want 3 characters, and there we go, and we shoot that down. Oh, wait a minute, same problem here again. So how can we fix that? Well, we can fix it by doing the same type of a thing. We can say look at the right of cell D2, and we want the length of cell D2 minus 3, and then shoot that down. There, it fixed our part number. Now, one thing, the last thing I want to show you is concatenate. This is where we take bits and pieces and add them together in a cell. So we'll use concatenate, and that means we want to add together this text string, comma, and this text string, and we hit enter, and it adds it all together. So our part number is reassembled. Now, one last little thing I'll show you here before we close it up is let's go back here to the left, and we say, you know what, I don't want those 3 characters, I just want the 2 characters. I don't need that dash in there. We shoot that down. So now it's just giving me the 2 characters of the part number, and you see it changed our concatenation from 85 dash to 85, which we would expect it to do. So, but let's assume for a minute that we get to this stage and we want that dash back in there. Concatenate. We want whoops, excuse me, we want cell Kate. Oops. I should not have backed up in that cell. So we want concatenate 85, and we want to add a dash in the middle. So we had quote marks and a dash. That tells Excel that there's a piece of text we want to insert right there, comma, and then we want to add cell L2 to it. Close the parenthesis. And now we've got our dash manually inserted. So as you can see from the function, it always is going to look, and it's going to use this, a dash, and that to give us the part number. Okay, well that's enough for today. I just wanted to familiarize you with some of these important functions. We'll use these techniques and these functions again going forward as we try and learn a little bit more about how to use Microsoft Excel. Thanks much. We'll see you next time.